What happens when one of the most physically intimidating men in sports entertainment chooses silence over spotlight? Is the transformation of Braun Strowman from WWE destruction to peaceful North Carolina living. But don't mistake peace for weakness, because behind that quiet country lifestyle sits a multi-million-dollar empire built on power, resilience, and reinvention. Up before the fame, before the pyro, before millions chanted his name, there was Adam Scherr. Born in 1983 in North Carolina, he didn't grow up dreaming of wrestling championships. He grew up surrounded by hard work, discipline, and Southern values. His father was a slow-pitch softball legend. Athleticism ran in the blood, but Braun's path wasn't clear. He worked odd jobs. He pursued athletics. He struggled to find direction. And then he found strength. Not just gym strength, gun elite level strength. He entered strongman competitions and didn't just compete, he dominated. By the early 2000s, Adam Scherr became one of the strongest men in America. A massive frame, explosive power, unmatched presence. That's when opportunity knocked. In 2013, he signed with WWE's developmental system. No wrestling background, no long indie circuit history, just raw potential. And WWE saw money. When he debuted on the main roster in 2015 as part of the Wyatt family, our audiences immediately understood something. This wasn't just another big man, this was a monster. He didn't just attack opponents, he dismantled them. Trucks flipped, stages collapsed, security guards scattered. Braun Strowman wasn't presented as a human competitor. He was presented as a force of nature, and fans loved it. Within 2 years, he became one of WWE's most protected superstars. Main event matches, premium live event features, massive merchandise sales. And every roar from the crowd translated into revenue, and slowly, the bank account grew. By the late 2000s, Braun had secured major contracts, championship bonuses, and top-tier status. He captured the Universal Championship, Intercontinental Gold, tag team titles. But the journey wasn't smooth. In 2021, WWE shocked the industry by releasing him. Just like that. One of the biggest stars, gone. Fans were furious. Social media exploded. Industry analysts questioned the decision. For Braun, it wasn't just professional. It was personal. Imagine being built as unstoppable, then suddenly unemployed. But here's where the story shifts. Instead of public anger, he chose strategy. He launched fitness ventures, explored independent bookings, built brand partnerships, and perhaps most importantly, he stayed grounded. While many wrestlers relocate to flashy cities after making money, Braun stayed connected to his roots. North Carolina wasn't just home, it was identity. And that identity shaped his lifestyle. Picture this. Acres of land, wide open skies, privacy without paparazzi. Braun Strowman's North Carolina property reflects strength and simplicity. Estimated around $1 million or more depending on land and structures, the estate prioritizes space over flash. No Beverly Hills chaos, no Miami nightlife headlines. Instead, land for trucks, room for outdoor training, space to breathe. And the home itself carries rustic comfort, large living areas built for a 6 feet 8 inches frame, durable design, functional layout, high ceilings, country-style finishes. It's not built to impress Instagram, it's built to live. And that difference matters. Because real luxury isn't always marble floors and crystal chandeliers. Sometimes luxury is peace. As of 2025, Braun Strowman's estimated net worth sits between $5 and $8 million. That wealth comes from WWE contracts and bonuses, and merchandise royalties, appearance fees, fitness-related ventures, brand collaborations. Unlike superstars who spend recklessly during peak years, Braun appears to live within structure. Strongman mentality, discipline over impulse, and that extends to his vehicles. He's known for loving powerful trucks and muscle cars, vehicles that match his larger-than-life persona, custom builds, heavy engines, American horsepower. When you're called the monster among men, you don't drive small sedans. But interestingly, you also don't see him flashing supercars daily online, because attention isn't the priority anymore. Control is. Then came the comeback. In 2022, Braun returned to WWE, and the crowd reaction proved something powerful. Absence creates value. He stepped back into arenas not as a reckless destroyer, but as a seasoned veteran, stronger mentally, smarter financially, more calculated. And that version of Braun Strowman might be the most dangerous yet. Coming back to WWE wasn't just about wrestling. It was about redemption. When Braun Strowman reappeared on WWE television, fans saw the same towering presence, but behind the beard and muscles was a man who had evolved. The release in 2021 taught him something most superstars never experience until it's too late. Security is temporary. Contracts expire. Crowds move on. So when Braun returned, it wasn't just for applause. It was strategic. And that strategy extends far beyond the ring. Let's talk real numbers. As of 2025, Braun Strowman's estimated net worth ranges between $5 and $8 million. While not the highest in WWE history, it represents disciplined growth rather than reckless celebrity spending. His income streams include major WWE salary contracts during peak years, performance bonuses tied to premium events, merchandise royalties, especially during his Monster Among Men peak, other personal appearances and fan conventions, fitness-related business ventures and partnerships. But what separates Braun from many former athletes is where that money goes. He didn't chase Hollywood mansions. He invested in land. Land appreciates. Land gives privacy. Land gives control. His North Carolina property reportedly spans wide acreage, ideal for someone who values space and independence. Unlike city estates surrounded by neighbors and cameras, Braun's home offers isolation. Wide gravel driveways, room for heavy trucks, open land for outdoor training, natural barriers that create privacy without visible security theatrics. Estimated property value around $1 million to $1.5 million depending on acreage and improvements. And in a market like North Carolina, land value continues to grow. Inside the house, the design reflects practicality over flash. Large living spaces built for comfort, durable hardwood floors, neutral tones, a functional kitchen with modern appliances, high ceilings accommodating his massive frame. It's not a celebrity showpiece, it's a strongman's home, and that says a lot about his mindset. Now let's talk vehicles. Because when you're 6 feet 8 inches and over 350 pounds in prime condition, you don't exactly fit into sports coupes. Braun is known for preferring lifted trucks, heavy-duty builds, and American muscle machines. Think horsepower over luxury badges. See custom trucks likely worth 6 figures combined. Performance-focused vehicles built for torque, not Instagram likes. While some WWE stars collect Ferraris and Lamborghinis, Braun's garage reflects strength culture, not celebrity culture. And that aligns with his public image. Powerful, grounded, American-built. But beyond lifestyle aesthetics, there's another layer to this story. Mental resilience. After his release in 2021, rumors swirled as some critics questioned his in-ring versatility. Others debated whether monster characters have long-term shelf life. Instead of responding online, he worked. He trained harder. He refined his conditioning. He repositioned his public brand. By the time he returned to WWE, he wasn't just physically dominant. He was business aware. And that awareness may define the rest of his career. In 2025, speculation continues about Braun's long-term plans. Industry insiders suggest several possibilities. A final championship run, a transition into mentoring younger big men, expansion into fitness branding, even potential entrepreneurial ventures tied to strength training equipment or outdoor lifestyle brands. Nothing confirmed. But here's what we know. He understands leverage now. He understands contract value. And most importantly, he understands timing. Away from arenas, Braun's daily life looks dramatically different than fans imagine. Early mornings, training sessions on private land, time outdoors instead of red carpets, minimal media appearances unless tied to purpose. Unlike many celebrities who constantly post lifestyle content, Braun maintains controlled visibility, and that increases intrigue. Because mystery sustains relevance. Financially stable, physically imposing, mentally sharper than before. The question now becomes, what defines his legacy? Is it the monster who flipped vehicles on live television? Or the disciplined man who built a quiet country empire after facing career uncertainty? Because true power isn't just dominance in the spotlight. It's stability when the spotlight turns off. And here's the twist. For someone labeled the monster among men, his greatest strength may not be physical at all. It may be restraint. Restraint in spending. Restraint in media drama. Restraint in reacting emotionally to setbacks. That restraint built wealth. That restraint built peace. And that restraint might extend his career longer than critics expect. But we're not finished. Power fades. Crowds move on. New stars rise. That's the reality of professional wrestling. But some figures leave an imprint so large, it doesn't disappear easily. And that brings us back to Braun Strowman. At 6'8" with unmatched physical presence, Braun built his WWE career on dominance. But dominance alone doesn't guarantee longevity. What guarantees longevity is reinvention. And in 2025, Braun Strowman stands at an interesting crossroads. Financially secure, unphysically still imposing, professionally experienced, but no longer reckless. Let's talk legacy. When Braun debuted in WWE, he was positioned as unstoppable destruction. He flipped ambulances, destroyed stages, and overwhelmed top-tier talent. He wasn't meant to be technical. He was meant to be terrifying. And it worked. Merchandise flew off shelves. Kids imitated the roar. Arena reactions were explosive. But monster characters traditionally have short lifespans in wrestling history. So how does Braun avoid that trap? By evolving beyond the gimmick. Since his return to WWE, fans have noticed a calmer presence. More calculated promos, more controlled aggression. Less chaos for shock value, more storytelling. That shift matters, because wrestling isn't just about strength anymore. It's about connection. And Braun's connection now feels more authentic. He's no longer just the unstoppable force. He's the veteran who survived release, the athlete who rebuilt, the man who chose stability over ego. Now let's talk future earning potential. At an estimated net worth between $5 and $8 million, Braun has room to grow strategically. If he secures another major championship storyline, his merchandise value spikes again. Nostalgia combined with redemption arcs is powerful. If he transitions into mentoring younger heavyweights backstage, that creates long-term stability within WWE. And if he expands fitness branding, something completely aligned with his strongman background, he could tap into an entirely new audience outside wrestling. Strength training programs, custom equipment lines, outdoor performance brands. His North Carolina country image actually supports that branding perfectly, because authenticity sells. And Braun's rural, disciplined lifestyle feels real and not manufactured. Let's compare. While some WWE giants relocated to Hollywood and built flashy public personas, Braun chose land. While some former champions chased constant media attention, Braun limited exposure. While some athletes overspent during peak contracts, Braun appears financially structured. That doesn't just preserve wealth, it protects mental health. And that might be his greatest luxury. Imagine the scene. Early morning on his North Carolina property. Fog rolling across open land. Unheavy boots stepping onto wooden porch boards. No cameras, no production crews. Just silence. The same man who once roared inside packed arenas now finds strength in stillness. That transformation isn't weakness, it's growth. Now let's address the rumors. Industry whispers suggest Braun could be positioned for a meaningful storyline if WWE need a dominant veteran presence. Others believe he may gradually transition into a reduced schedule to protect his long-term health. There are also quiet discussions about life after wrestling. Not retirement tomorrow, but preparation. Because if his 2021 release taught him anything, it's this: nothing lasts forever. And preparation is power. If he steps away from full-time competition in the next few years, he won't be scrambling. He'll be secure, land paid for, assets stable, brand established. That's not just a wrestler's ending. That's a businessman's strategy. From strongman competitions in small arenas to flipping ambulances on global television, from sudden release to strategic comeback, Braun Strowman's story isn't just about brute force. It's about resilience. It's about adapting when the spotlight shifts. It's about building a life that doesn't collapse when contracts do. And in 2025, perhaps the most impressive thing about the monster among men isn't how loud he can be. It's how peacefully he can live. And because real power isn't just lifting trucks, it's lifting yourself after setbacks. Real dominance isn't just in-ring destruction. It's financial stability, mental discipline, controlled legacy. From WWE chaos to North Carolina calm, Braun Strowman proved that monsters can evolve. And sometimes, the strongest move you can make is choosing peace. If you enjoyed this full deep dive into Braun Strowman's home, lifestyle, net worth, and future plans, make sure to like this video. Subscribe to Life of Legends and comment below. Should Braun get one final championship run? Or is his quiet country empire already the perfect ending? Because legends aren't defined by noise. They're defined by endurance.